Why is it in the water, dude? Is it a fish cow?
It's a flood of traffic. That's what our traffic does.
It's exactly what it looks like, with bulging teats.
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon, everyone. These guys are just talking
about cows and flooding traffic. Yeah,
cows and traffic. How they two go together, I will never know.
But we're talking about theming today.
Kind of weird that we eat like animal breast milk, like bug vomit, honey. Right? It's bug vomit.
Yeah.
Like we eat all this weird shit, dude.
Yeah, but you drink a little breast milk from a person, and you're all weird.
Like bird periods or eggs, right?
Yeah, unfertilized.
Anyway, guys, check out OTYS. We've still got a £400 bonus for grabbing one of their age domains. That offer does run out in a few days' time, so make sure if you're interested, you do grab that £400 bonus while you can, because trying to get money from Alex at ODYS is like getting blood from a stone. So take full advantage. I don't know what those cups were. Were they ODYS cups? Because I'd be thinking.
No, they're redone.
No, dude, those weird, like, women, like, flock to those, like, when they have a sale. Like, it's like, people will kill you for a cup, dude.
It's crazy because it's limited runs and shit. So, like, they have groups and, like, women will, like, go and clear out, like, a TJ Maxx or wherever the hell they drop it.
You know how I know that? Because I'm there with them.
Yeah, I know. You're there for the muscle.
I'm there actually to find my cup.
Yes.
B-Rad, you're getting hit with this bad boy this year.
I know you have one of those that I liked. What did it say?
Boss.
Which one? Boss?
Boss.
Yeah, I don't get one like that.
It's my favorite.
I get one that says, like...
Kelsey's got one that says Lady Boss. You should get that one.
Lady Boss. I do need that one. That looks really good in the skirt.
What up, Craig?
What you been up to, Craig? You, Craig, Campbell.
Not a lot. Just the usual shit. Yeah, just consultancy calls, talking
those
shit.
Suck. You still do those?
Yeah, man.
It's got to be just to help people, right?
Is it sunny in Birmingham? Meet me at Birmingham.
Sunny in Glasgow, believe it or not, it's like 18 degrees today. So
what is that in real temperature?
Yeah.
Like 60 odd.
Oh, that's not bad.
For March, it's good. For March, it's really good. It's probably not quite as high in Birmingham, but Maeve, Sunny Island, we have some weird heat wave over here, like in the UK, probably over to Ireland. Maeve, what have you got today? Like 18, some shit like that.
I woke Maeve up at like 3:30 in the morning, like 2 nights ago. It was rad. She said something, and then I responded, and she goes, "Remind me to turn my phone off the next time." I just like bothering her when she's sleeping. I stalk her.
Well, you did that when Putin invaded Ukraine. Like, I wake up and see a bunch of messages. I was like, fuck. I bet Putin invaded Ukraine. And that was exactly what it was.
That's funny. That's hilarious. Warmer than ice, dude. There's a cool, I think we have an article we need to go look at and read and analyze and stuff today.
Let's do it.
I'm going to share my screen. We'll actually show something.
I got nothing else planned. I thought this bad boy was supposed to kick off an hour ago. I'm getting to eat an early lunch, and Craig's like, see you Fookers in an hour. I'm like, what? So you guys still do change time, though? But it's just next week?
Yeah, it's next week. Our clock's either backwards or forwards or whatever the fuck it is.
Spring forward, fall back.
Yeah.
I hear heart attacks go up around this time of year when, like, during time change. When they spring forward, you lose an hour, and heart attacks actually go up. There's a correlation.
Come on, man.
Promise.
No, it's like when it gets darker, there's a lot more suicide. I'll tell you that. Living out in the mountains. Great. I'm going to reload the page because it won't let me share my screen. I'm going to do this now.
Oh, I'm assuming they just left. And
the show just got better. What's up?
Paul Lovell saying Scotland has better weather than Cornwall. Only 15 there. We always have better weather than Cornwall, Paul. come on, you made the wrong move. But Business Growth Ready has 18 as well. 64 is the actual figure, Brad.
64 degrees?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 67 here right now. It's not bad.
Decent.
I got a question for both of you. What do you guys read any SEO blogs or follow anything, or do you kind of do your own thing?
I've been doing the same thing since 2009, so no.
I do read some stuff. I certainly don't read this particular source of information, but I still root around. I root around, and a lot of different places, and I root around in the Black Hat World forum and stuff like that, just to find out what's going on and what's new.
There's just so much bullshit in those, though. Like, do you have a good one that you go through?
I think what it comes down to is like once you've been in the market for a little bit and you know what is real and what's not, that it's not as dangerous to consume those kind of sites and that kind of information, right? Because you can skim through a list of titles and go, okay, this is interesting, let's see what they say, and pretty much instantly say, oh, that's bullshit, or that's something that I could file away for notes. I think when people come in new, there's so much damn bad information, and it's all biased information, right? It's all either someone that is like, I'm a white hat, or someone that's like, I'm a black hat. So they're thinking in like this.
And then you've got people that say they're black hat or white hat, and they're actually not.
Right. And I think that actually does a disservice. But the cool thing is like you can sometimes find shit that's actually useful. I think this might be useful to some people that are new. So let's see the question. So it started out with like, and if there's questions, just take them, dude. Jump in front of me. So dude goes, this guy says, why don't my SEO tools show all my backlinks?
Your SEO tools suck.
And yeah, exactly. And freaking, it goes on to talk about how no tool is going to find it, and actually like
Google doesn't even find all your backlinks. So how the fuck is an SEO tool going to find them?
Now, I got a question for the industry. Like, what, like the people in the audience, like, what does that kind of indicate, though? Like, if they I guess we can ask that in a second. There's no objective way to crawl the web properly. It's theoretically impossible, since nobody can afford to keep an infinite number of URLs in a database. Web crawlers make assumptions, simplifications, and guesses about what is worth crawling, and then even then, you can't actually do that. So that should be triggering a hell of a lot for people. I wonder if it is. Like, what does that indicate to you guys or someone in the free
indicates a portion of your backlinking campaign will be 100% useless.
Yeah, that does mean that to me. It also means that if I'm building only guest posts in a single layer, that it might not be the best way to do my link building. Maybe I need to have like more than one tier. And I guess it should also spark what kind of links maybe are better than others for people. What's that say?
I just build a bunch of Facebook posts.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. I just read them and hope the links come.
Mm-hmm. Affirmations.
But the reason why like pre-sale pages or edits, whatever the hell you want to call them.
I think Mike has his microphone attached to his chair.
I usually have it over here.
There we go. Now it's not. I actually had it attached to the chair.
It sounded like it.
Nice. So
niche edit pages. You like those best?
Pre-sale pages, niche edits, dude. Like one of the things I think that people don't realize is like one of the most beneficial things about buying a link that's already there is because it's already in the index.
It's already crawled. It already has links going to it. So you're kind of tiered already.
Yeah. And if you look at, I think it goes on how web crawlers determine what's worth crawling. And then we touch the part where crawlers try to figure out what pages are actually useful. The web's filled with junk nobody cares about. They may regularly change. They may have reasonable URLs, but they're just destined for the landfill. And any search engine that cares about their users will ignore them. But on a bigger note there, go back to the money. Like any search engine or tool that cares about the money It's not going to crawl a bunch of shit and trash unless they're charging you per URL, right? And sometimes it's not obvious junk either. More and more sites are technically okay, but they just don't reach the bar from a quality point of view and merit being crawled anymore. So what's quality though, right? So what is quality, fuckers?
One man's quality is different from another man's quality. Like for me, I try and do things as best I can, and content. Try and be informative. Try and do a decent job of passing out information. I know Brad's probably going to say, "Fuck it, I just quillbot that someone else's shit," and it still sticks. So one man's quality
is indexed and ranking. I consider it quality.
Yeah. So, do you have to go to the levels that I personally would go for quality? Nah, there's counter arguments where people are doing other things, and you have to look at it. Getting crawled and indexed is the quality factor, and whether
I got a question. Like, if we have a page, we can build like one link. We got 2 pages, and they're pretty much the same, but one page has alt text and another page doesn't have alt text. Is that affecting the quality of the link?
Nope.
What's that?
I wouldn't think so.
I would think it would. It would add relevance.
So the way I look at it, so we have Google who basically.
I just cut him off since you were going to disagree with me there.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that either. Yeah.
Fucking hell. Nah, I didn't really cut him off. He's obviously cut
He just doesn't know how to work a computer.
No.
He'll be back.
No,
there he is.
I go by God. Google analyzes a page based on a bunch of different factors. We know that they can look at a page and see where an ad is. We know that they can look at a page and determine if it's a paid link based on the content and the text that's on there, where shit is on the page, what words are used. They can analyze all these little pieces. And it changed my name too. Look at that quality.
I saw it, yeah. I'm surprised you could spell it.
They can analyze all these different things. And we've got Panda, we've got Penguin. If you understand what those things are, they're looking for reasons to say, this is a quality link, this is a quality page, we should keep it in the index. Because there's no difference with indexing links and indexing pages. They're the same fucking thing, right? So if they can go and break a page down by element and they look at, web core vitals or whatever they play around saying they look at other factors, they look at speed and shit in these different elements. I think that people don't understand that there's literally a built score of hey, we're giving you good points here, we're giving you bad points. No alt images. That's a 3% ding on your quality rating, right? Or your spam score, whatever the fuck you want to say it. There's images and video. Maybe we're going to boost up the percentage of the quality of the page. It's not like a black and white thing, just like markets aren't black and white. So if we're looking at wanting to have pages in the index, whether they're links or if they're content, I think we have to take that into consideration, right? We have to take into consideration, is the link we're going to build going to drop out of the navigation and just be an orphan page somewhere and not be worth a damn, like a big chunk of the guest posts that are out there? That's a sad ass panda, bro.
Is it showing up there yet? It's still spinning.
Yeah.
So I would say that if people, and what we are noticing is that I see it in a lot of blogs right now. When we talked about this a little bit last time, people go in and they have a topic they want to write about, and they pull keywords off a competitor. They pay no attention to where those keywords rank on the competitor site, and they just start writing content for each keyword and turning into individual posts per keyword, which really tears apart the quality of and the authority of a website when you do that. It really makes that website less authoritative, and I'm seeing it cause pages not to be indexed, because the more frequently you publish partial information on a topic that you don't show expertise on, the more percentage of shit you have, the more percentage of spam score you have, whatever you want to call it. And it starts to affect people's indexation until they get to a certain point and start flipping the other way. So it's kind of actually really interesting the way they're doing it right now. And so I guess I'll go on in the article. I just thought this was something people don't pay attention to, but it says, so therefore all crawlers work on a very simplified set of URLs. They have to work out how often to crawl, which URLs to crawl more often, which parts of the web to ignore. There are no fixed rules for any of this, so every tool will have to make their own decisions along the way. That's why search engines have different content index, why SEO tools list different links, why any metrics built on top of these are so different. It's a big reason why I don't like metrics like DR and DA. And the closer you get to
what about topical trust flow? Do you believe in that one more?
I believe in Kemper's shit and Majestics more. And there's other reasons they suck too, but like, and that's more from like dirty databases. But really, like
dirty D's. Yeah.
You literally can like value a page based on those spam factors. It's all about spam factors. If you read what he just said, they have to determine what to crawl more, and this. So if we know that they like all this stuff for optimization, and we want to continue to increase our crawl budget so that our networks are indexed and our links are more powerful and our content's indexed and our sites are pulling more traffic and money, then we need to keep those factors into consideration. And if we go out, we drop an initial site, it's not optimized really well, it's just got content, it's indexing, getting traffic. When we go back, we need to start thinking about, okay, can we step this up, right? And I think a lot of people are missing that right now. So my rant's done.
Can you also drop a link to that article in there?
Yeah.
Adam Phone's asking.
Yep. Let's see, comments. I don't think I can.
I'll put it in the private chat and I'll copy and paste
cool,
it.
Perfect. You're very intelligent there, dude. I couldn't think of that. I'm an ass.
I think I'd done it before to stop people basically selling their shit.
Yeah, I was going to promote all my new stuff today, and then
you have new stuff?
I don't, but I was going to promote it anyways.
He had to cut Chris Palmer off, you know.
Yeah, right. That's funny. Oh, dude. So interesting campaign. I got a doctor friend who's a competitor got his the connection between his GMB and his site. They got it disconnected, right? They pulled away the link out of the listing, right? And it happened like a month and a half ago. And it was really funny is the site actually started performing a hell of a lot better. And the ranking went up. The
site or the GMB did better?
The site did.
Yeah.
The actual site started performing better. And I think it was like a 64% increase in calls and traffic and relevant traffic. And when we put it back on, it kind of tapered back down again. And it was very interesting to see it behave like that, because I've never seen it before. So I had a question for you guys if you've seen that behavior. Have you?
The background is sad because Mike brought up panda and penguin. So
yeah, that's a panda. That's a penguin.
Those are some sad animals.
Have you seen that though? You do much more of the local than I do, dude. Have you seen?
I've actually seen, and we're testing it with a few campaigns where it's actually the guy was talking to me who I was discussing it with, and he said, "Is Matt Versatigue mentioned that like they could be tracking your MAC address." So he took it out of completely removed it from his name, and we've seen some increases from that.
Really?
So just attaching to your MAC address. Yeah, not your IP, your actual
the actual hardware.
Yeah, because I mean, you know who I'm talking about. And he's got I don't know how many fucking suspended listings attached to that machine and all that stuff. So
the concept literally is the more they can tell, the better they can do, and they suck with IP right now. And ISP, they just are shit. They can't locate it. So if you can give them that, and you can tie it into something physical, I think it always adds something there.
Yeah, but that's what I thought of when I thought of your doctor friend. But I mean, I don't know what the fuck he would have done to ban his essentially MAC address or IP or any of the above.
He had an SEO firm, bro, that was working the campaign.
Ah, yeah.
And it's an SEO firm that doesn't really know what they're doing. So that's actually really interesting that you said that, because I didn't think of that. Like that's very interesting, actually. So that's crazy, dude. Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Yeah. It's odd that the site would go up and not the GMB though on his end. Is what I'm thinking. Yeah.
They could. I think they controlled the email for the GMB, dude.
Really?
I do. And so that's getting fixed and everything. Like trying to take care.
So I'm curious what would happen if you took the GMB and took it away from them completely, like disassociated with that other company.
Yep, we're doing it now.
I bet it goes up. I bet you don't have much trouble after that.
His fiance's friend does like marketing and design or something, and so she's taking care.
Everyone's got a fiance's friend in their family.
It does marketing and design.
My nephew will do it. What?
My nephew will do it. The problem with that from a business standpoint is like once it's a friend, like you don't want to charge too much, or you don't want to.
That's my problem.
Too much, and I can't do it. That's why I can't take people that are close to me and hire them and shit, dude.
My problem is like say a friend in the neighborhood or whatever needed a website or some SEO done for their business. I would undercharge, like vastly undercharge, and then there would be no motivation for me at that point to do it. And then it's kind of like anytime they would bitch in the back of my head, I'd be like, I'm fucking doing this for free. You can go hire someone if you want. That's my issue. So.
And for me, it's like I will ask one time, and if they don't do what I want them to do, I'll like wait a fucking month and a half, and then they'll come back and say, "What's going on?" Like, I asked you, I just don't follow up with them because it's not important.
Well, you don't follow up with anyone, so that's
no, I don't. Yeah. That's very fucking true. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Direct me and I'll do it, but nah.
Well, my problem is I do everything, and then they're like, "Well, can you change this or change that?" I'm like, "No, I'm not going to fucking change it. Swing on these." That's what I say, and that's why I don't have any friends in the neighborhood.
I don't have any friends, period.
Yes, that's true. I met all my friends online because I'm a is that Slacker? That's a Slacker. Yeah. That's the song. I'm a slacker.
Yes. Yeah, no. But it's true, dude. Like honestly, like if I'm not doing business and making money with somebody, I don't usually talk to people.
You know my rules.
You're not fucking them or making money with them.
Mm-hmm. Craig, you're looking pretty. We're not making any money, so you might as well.
I might as well bend over.
Yeah. Dude, one of Kelsey's coworkers really wants to get in the ring with me, and she keeps telling him it's not a good idea. She's like, no, I'm worried that you'll get hurt, saying it to him. And like, I don't want Brad to hurt you. I don't want you to get hurt, blah, blah, blah. And someone like finally said, wait, why aren't you worried about Brad getting hurt? She's like, well, one, I don't care. Two, you could hurt him. You won't be able to tell. He'll keep coming at you. So this guy's been boxing for like 4 months. So
Robert has a question.
Robert has a question. Oh man. What?
Dude, I used to, when I would post web design and stuff on Craigslist, this is the kind of scam stuff you would get. Actually, we had someone reach out to us. You remember this in the midst of the pandemic. So it was like right after all the strip clubs had to close. A guy reached out to me. He's like, yeah, I need a site done, blah, blah, blah. Okay. He's like, I need it to, because we're shut down, I need it to have like live, like broadcasts and stuff. I was like,
he wanted to start a porn site, basically, is what
yes. He's like, well, you can do tips and stuff like that. I was like a webcam. That's all you need is a webcam software. He's like, no, not like a webcam at all. I'm going to have a DJ and blah, blah, blah. I was like, and he describes it again. I was like, yeah, that's exactly like a webcam with a DJ. So that's a webcam.
Well,
so
just you go on X-Hamster Live and freaking pimp them out, basically, is what you do in that case instead of developing yourself.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. So that's, I've never done them because they always seem shady as shit. So
the ones that I've been involved in, I tried to become uninvolved very quickly because those are murder areas where you're dealing with people in fucking serious industries that will kill people, and I don't like those industries.
You're dealing with just even take the murder out, just crazy, unstable people.
Not a good place to be.
Oh.
Porn's one thing, but like when you get into females and like actually doing escort and human trafficking type shit, yeah, nah.
Yeah, so you got to be careful. Right? A
Also,
new GMB business. Why don't they have a website?
You're missing out on a lot by not having a website.
And I've split tested that. I filled out the GMB entirely, sent traffic, linked to it, everything, and it pushed, but not that much. But
wait until the site's built out a bit and then throw it in for sure, dude.
As soon as I added the site, the GMB shot up. So
when you make those connections and they're able to say, okay, now you've associated, like the whole thing about like you can do local without a website. Yeah, you can do it, but why would you shoot yourself in the foot with the topical?
Now, when I don't use a website is when it's in, the spammy ass niches, and each edit risks taking down the GMB. And I've already got money in the GMB, so it's just like a spray and pray at that point. I'm just throwing it out and ranking based on the biz name. And that's when I don't add a website. I don't care at that point. But yeah, if they have an actual business that they can throw in there, I would definitely, first thing I would do is add the website, fill out the GMB entirely, and then it's just business as usual,
Dude, at a bare minimum, like reverse from Facebook into a WordPress blog so that you're just getting posts from Facebook on your shit and throw that in there, because then you're getting associations anyways. Like, you don't have to worry about building something like crazy, but at least populate a shell of something with something topically relevant.
Yeah, and once that is done, you just you're looking to get engagement on the GMB. So I mean, use your social following to push traffic to the GMB, push traffic to the website, and it'll go up.
Those are the cheap ones that are like, okay, that's when you grab IFTTT and you go off of one place, push it into a bunch of other places, then post all of it, and mash it up and just leverage what you're already doing for the HTML over there.
That guy must know you. Exploring with Kevy.
Yeah.
He knows how magic you are, Mike.
But it shows your magic, Mike.
Don't say that. He'll stand up.
I will. I got my that's actually now my new Skype thing. It's got fucking Michael Myers dancing with a knife, says Magic Mike. Fucking great.
You had Jason on there.
That's what I meant, Michael Myers. Is it? No, it's Michael Myers.
Hang on. Let me look.
Jason's in the background, dude.
Well, it is Michael Myers, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, dude, right. Dancing, dude. Right. Magic Mike. Dude, my wife sent me that. I'm like, yes, I'm wearing this and I'm putting this on Skype.
You're wearing this? He puts in the mask. Puts on the mask.
It's a t-shirt, dude. Perfect.
Do you have any magic to share?
No.
Any magic to share with?
Here's my magic. Be a gray hat SEO. Don't believe what anyone tells you and just go out and do the shit that you know works and keep watching for what works. And that's the magic, is not listening to everyone else.
My magic is donor sites. Mike and I were discussing that earlier.
Donor sites?
Donor sites, yep. Copy the
competition. Magic.
Who's ranking? See what they're doing. Do that.
The magic really is that you've got a centralized database. It's like an ancient mystery school or like a Gnostic fucking like Kabbalistic religion where you've got this database of information called Google that is like the one God I am. And if you're smart, you'll take their information and use it to rank your shit. And the information is in the SERPs. So copy and paste it and arrange it properly. And that's the magic.
But it comes down to the domain buoyancy at that point.
Domain buoyancy, after you've got a good donor, you buoyance on it, off of it. Yeah, bounce. And then,
I think when people really started hitting the topical, we need to be topical. We need to have the whole thing here. They started really forgetting that like it's just about keywords, and Google's a great source of knowing what they like for every single keyword. So if you scrape the right data, you can either copy it and use it as like spin or write new content for that same data, but it's all right there. Like there's no magic needed, dude. It's just all right there.
Easy.
So
it's mind-numbingly boring, to be honest. Yeah.
It's very boring.
What about magic like Quillbot? Does that magic
Quillbot, spin rewriter, whatever you want to do to spin it up? Yeah. Make sure it works in cognitive. The only thing that I wish Quillbot would do would be to put in negative keywords like spin rewriter, or, all the other spinners have, because then you get one article right in Cognitive, and you throw it through there. If you can add the negative keyword list from Cognitive into whatever you're spinning, then you know everything's going to be optimized.
And it's straightforward because Google is the creator, dude. Like, they're the ones that create the SERP. Like, they created the SERP. We can't create that shit. All we can do is give it what they can use to create the fucking SERP. So literally, we just have to keep grabbing the information from them, putting it back in a better format, and letting them do their thing. Like, straight up. You can't create something out of nothing.
Here's a serious question. You guys ever just outsource? I take it you guys are not outsourcing to content writers at all, ever?
Yeah, we do sometimes. We don't want to think about it, and we want to have stuff that it depends on if it's for a client. If it's for our own campaigns, typically no. If it's for a client, then yeah, we.
If it's high level copy needed, then it goes to someone else. If it's like regular copy, staff can do it. If it's our stuff, then it can be
spun
generated.
Yeah, that's
there
it.
You go, guys. I just wanted to get that point across.
Like I was telling Mike. I can't remember how many calls it was. But yeah, a site that I
16 calls.
Yeah, whatever it was like $800,000 so far this month from this one site. Literally, all I've done is I had my guy go in and just throw up a site, have some content on the homepage, but I wasn't going to rank the homepage, and this is no linking at all. Then I went in and added a few top level articles, so I could just have shit in the
menu
and in the top menu. Yeah, so I did that. There were a couple thousand words, but it was curated, then spun exactly like I just described. And then I took those articles and I threw them through. I think it was SERP Shaker is what I used on that particular site. You can use whatever spinner you want, and then ran a big ass. For both of those articles, I ran at least a couple thousand locations on each one of those keywords. So it's keyword plus city state essentially. And I'm making 800 to 1,000 off of that site. Zero money in content.
For basically no cost and no time.
Yeah.
It's repeatable. It's easy.
The only cost I had on it was I had the designer throw up a site because I was too lazy to do it at that moment. So
yeah.
But it's converting. I mean, people, and I listened to the calls and people are actually calling about hey, I need blah, blah, blah treatment in this city. I saw your site. I would like more information on that. That's it.
When we really do, like we were talking about, when we say you can just take the data out of Google, like I've talked to so many people lately that really are overcomplicating everything. And it's like at 50% is effective in ranking. And it just, don't overcomplicate it. It's not complicated. You don't need a bunch of tools. You don't need all that stuff. You really don't. Simple.
Like I said, mind-numbingly boring. Like that's what I did all weekend because I had my mother-in-law was in, so I had to work all weekend. And
I had to do for my mother-in-law yesterday. I drive to Idaho Falls, supposed to meet this dude on the way back to pick up a desk and a chair for her. The guy doesn't get back through the mountains until I get back to town. So that's another additional 30 minutes going back to his house that's out of service, grabbing it and then coming back. So I had to do an extra hour drive just to get this damn desk. It was obnoxious.
Yeah. But I did I built out a site. It has 30 or 40 pages on it. All I did was copy, paste, fucking over and over. It's all HTML too. It's not even WordPress. And that will bring in, that'll bring in, at least 500 a month, probably more. So easy.
Who's doing lead gen out there and who's doing client work and how would you make that work for your clients? Like what we're talking about, if you're doing client work,
build your network, fool.
Yep. Seriously, think about that. If you can put up a site for no problem, that will make 500, 800 a month. You think that might be a good backlink for some sites that you have clients for? I don't know.
Link to it too.
Yeah. No, and that's why it's the most efficient. And I know Craig does PBNs too, or whatever you want to call them, mini nets, however we want to call them, infinites. They're the best. I still think they're better than anything else. Because
infinite maturation is what I like to call them.
Yeah, infinite maturation.
Infinite maturation with domain buoyancy and donor sites.
You're either dead or you're not.
You've got to edge the links on those.
Oh, you got to edge them really hard. Yeah, especially in the weekend.
So go read. I am going to say I got that. That's from graph theory and social network shit. It is just a connection between two nodes, aka web pages, the edge. But you can edge them over to the side too. Push it just to the limit.
What people
push what to the side?
What people were then drawn from that was, are you moving the links off page like 7
I think that's funny. Out of there. That's hilarious, dude.
It's the people that, like you said, like just a couple of minutes ago, people overcomplicate it. They're coming to me like, how many pixels to the left? Is it 7 pixels? Oh, no. It's 17 pixels to the left.
You got to at least do. I like 17, and you got to listen to like a certain song when you do it.
It's that 15 to 20 pixel area where Google really pays attention.
That's the sweet spot. Oh, you hit that. That's like that's the G spot, the Google spot.
Yeah, that's the Google spot.
That's where the magic happens.
It's you're just sitting there and you're having a few beers, and people are like, yeah, I heard this and I heard that, and then all these Chinese whispers added on, and you're just like, dude, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Be
like, here, have another beer.
No, that is exactly why I said, though, do you read these? Like, I have a feeling a lot of people that are saying that kind of shit are reading way too many SEO blogs, following way too much time on Facebook, where they're getting the confirmation bias of nonsense all the time, you know? And that's why I was saying, don't read this shit. Pay attention, but don't sit there and consume this shit all day, because you'll never actually get away from spending money on it and not making money.
The problem is people do that and feel like they're working,
right? And
they're not doing anything.
Got to be honest with yourself.
I listen to a select few people in the
Joe
industry.
Rogan,
not Joe Rogan. I'm not going to mention names, but there's guys out there who I believe are doing good shit, and I'm not necessarily saying they're well known or anything like that. There's certain guys you just know, and you surround yourself with them. Have conversations.
The ones that will challenge you and say, no, you're wrong, or and then you can have that conversation. Those are the ones I like to talk to. Those are the ones that I like to discuss with, because that's how you can't always be right, or you're fucking never learning, dude.
Yeah.
It was funny. Yesterday, I actually hopped on a call, and unbeknownst to me, I thought it was just a regular call. And apparently it had 11 fucking people on the call. I was like, what in the hell did I just walk into? So it's like all these various marketing people. Like, there was a PPC person. There was a chick that's like, I can do anything. Her cats were in the background.
Can do anything.
It was crazy. And then people that actually worked for the company. It's a website, but it's like a learning platform, a training platform for a specific niche. But yeah, I was on there. I was like, oh shit. And then their new marketing director, he just got hired. He's like, yeah, from an SEO perspective, what do you think of the site's titles? I was like, the titles? He's like, yeah, the titles. Do you think they need work?
Oh, titles. I thought you said tires, bro.
Yeah, I'm kicking the tires. But I was like, honestly, I wanted to like sound like a badass. I was like, honestly, that's like such base level SEO. We do that without thinking about it. You know, optimize. We'll do that when we get to when we're doing optimizing everything. But yeah, the title. Well, what do you think about this title? It's such and such. I was like, Jesus, dude. I was like, okay, send me a link to this. I was like, yeah, that's shitty. I mean, they do a podcast, and they had all it was like podcast number, the title of the podcast, and then number 27 or whatever. I was like, yeah, that could be improved. I mean, I would have to listen to the podcast to see what it's about. You're going to need a transcription. And then what I would do is take the audio and upload it to YouTube, and then embed that on the same page. And he was like, I'm like, this is simple shit, dude. I was like, then you could stack inside the YouTube video and blah blah blah, and I tried to get like goofier with him. He's like, oh, this guy knows this shit. And then it was funny because they were trying to figure. I was like, yeah, once we get the SEO worked out, just to help you out, I'd like to look at your your LTV and everything. I was like, your email campaign and everything. What do they say? Owning cat death gives you a ranking boost. Yeah, look at Chase.
Yeah, Chase is a prime example.
Yeah, he wasn't shit. Everyone was making fun of him in the industry. Then he gets the fucking cat. Yeah, and then boom, he's the king of SEO. Chase. But yeah, it's just like from a marketing perspective, it's just crazy how like you can't see the forest for the trees. Because I was like, I'd like to look at your.
You had mentioned some of it on the call before with them, and they didn't retain shit.
No. Oh, well, the problem was we didn't have all 11 people apparently.
Yeah, you need 11.
So you need at least 11 people on a fucking call. But I was like, yeah, I'd like to look at your email because they're like, well, we don't do much from our email and blah blah. I was like, I'd like to look at that at some point because I send out emails. I don't really sell email services, but I'll take a look at it for you. But then it got brought up later in the conversation. I was drinking coffee and they're like, well, how many emails do you send out? Like when you get a lead in, she's like 3. What the fuck? You only send out 3 fucking emails? And then I was like, oh shit, I better mute myself.
Well, and the funny thing is when I talk to them about how long the lifetime in the sales funnel is, it's like literally like a fucking 8-year thing, and they send out
3 emails. I was like, and then this PDF had gotten brought up earlier, like 100 tips to do X, Y, and Z. I was like, all right, here's what I would suggest. I was like, you take that 100 tips. Each one is going to be an email. Once someone signs up, you send them, an email, this tip of the day or whatever. For the next 100 days, your email campaign's planned.
And the beauty of that is when we're running the SEO with people and they're doing that, you're now actually ranking the site by telling them to do the email split up,
Yeah, and you're getting more traffic to the site. And she's like, it was like silence. And she's like, that's actually a really good idea. I was like, I know.
I think the best email SEO, like the guy that does the best job that I have seen just by doing SEO with email.
You don't send out emails. I send you emails perfection. They never go out, Craig.
It's every
don't talk
day.
To me.
Every freaking day they write the blog post, they turn it into an email to talk about. So they just expand that same piece of content and then they drop that out. It becomes a video as well. It's all traffic. I love it. I know that was good, wasn't it, Rich? I think that was amazing. Actually, it's the quote of the year.
G-Spot SEO.
The day. But yeah, I mean, it's just content and delivery, and the rankings spike like crazy.
Content, delivery,
spike, baby, spike. Well, how do you make links stick, right? How do you make links actually work? But
content and delivery. Honestly, you could probably rank with just that, right? If your list is big enough and you're getting traffic.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Easy.
Craig's doing it.
Yep. I don't do no SEO.
Dude, I need to comb my hair. Look at that.
I hate when I get on. I'm trying to fix it in the with the webcam, but everything's backwards. You're like, I just fucked it up worse.
Yeah,
it's not good. But guys in the audience, if we get any questions you want to ask today, do you know what I think's fucked up just now?
What?
Because of this time difference, I think people
aren't here. Yeah,
that's probably true.
That happened with me and Chris last week because we done the Wednesday show and we had Stigs and shit like that come in at the end. And we had all these questions at the end, and it took so long to get started. And I think
I'm gonna cut everyone off it too, so they better fucking get them in right now.
Yeah, so get your questions in.
Let's see what we got.
But yeah, this weekend the clock changes here in the UK, and everything balances back out.
I heard 2023 in the US they're going to stop changing it. I hope so. I hate the time change. It always messes with kids, everything. They're little shits when time changes.
You need to start giving it
actually, I think solid for new people.
That would work too.
They're getting duplicate content alerts for tags that they're creating in their WordPress blog. And they
need to add more shit to your tags, and then it fills up the tag page, right?
That's a great way to go. And then you could also keep them out. the index if you didn't want to, but I prefer to have the crawl through and keep some stuff. So I like what you said.
As long as you're not having indexation issues elsewhere on the site, then have the tags index.
If you are smart, if you're smart, you can use the tag as part of the page group and make it make sense for sure.
Yeah. Remember back in the day when Google was indexing all willy-nilly, and they like we would be ranking tag pages, be ranking the main post page. It was fucking insane. Like just whoosh.
XML used to be my favorite target on my sites, dude.
Because it spread everywhere, right?
My XML feed, or the RSS.
Are people still doing that? I haven't done it in a while. I always
forget about it. I have not paid attention to if it's anything worth doing.
I don't know if it works anymore. I haven't done it. Yeah, but we should do a course on it. The secret linking method that'll pass juice to every single page on your site.
It's funny when you get them in the SERPs, dude.
I've never seen one in the SERPs, actually.
What's that?
Did I ever tell you the story? We were in James Dooley's office one day, and there was a whiteboard and shit like that, and someone wanted to take a picture of the group collectively sitting there, whatever we were doing, and someone's like, just let's write some bullshit on the whiteboard, just because he says people will zoom into that shit and check it out. So literally we put on there just some general bullshit, like hit the htaccess file with loads of links, all of this kind of stuff. And dude, from some of the most experienced SEOs in the UK, literally on WhatsApp, on the phone, within minutes of this being posted, dude, what the fuck's this htaccess trick? Like, I'm stopping my, like, in the agency, they basically said, stop everything you're fucking doing. We're going to start sending links to the htaccess file. And then they phoned and they went, dude, like, how do you send links to the htaccess file? Mate, we just put up a big pile of shit. And since that ever came out, see when people talk about linking to their sitemap and shit like that, people think it's fucking bullshit now. Like, I've got friends who are like, come on, Craig, it's not another one of those fucking htaccess files.
I don't know if it's bullshit. I mean, it's a hub. I mean, when we're
anything
hubbing quite a bit,
like a tag page, has in theory is potentially beneficial. I mean, it's kind of like shit goes in and out all the time too, though. Like, so the SEO video show on Friday, we're going to be talking about some old tactics. I'm going to go do that.
What's that on? Who's that guy?
Paul Dre.
Yes, Paul.
Legend.
Yeah, Paul. And but yeah, it's kind of funny because things come in, things go. Like the CID thing, when it was first working, was because of some really big bugs in the system, and then it went away, and then it came back and went away and came back and went away. Different holes in GMB have always gone away and came back,
especially for verification. Yeah.
What's that?
Especially for verification.
Yeah, that's what I meant, is verification. I had it closed one day right at an event, like right as we were doing the presentation.
I remember that event. I paid to go to that event.
Well, that's true. That's where I met you, dude.
Yeah, it is.
No, or that was that was before that other one, dude. You're right.
That was Jimmy's. Yeah.
That's when I was in the gutter vomiting, or no, I wasn't. Someone was. But
I was.
Nah, it was a girl.
I wasn't in the gutter. I was in the bathroom the whole second day because of Mike Long. Hey, you guys want to get something to drink? So I'm drinking, and he's like, "Let's all get ciders." Okay, so we drink a cider. Hey, let's do shots of Fireball. I'm like, oh fucking hell! And so I wake up the next day, and like I lay down at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and you know, one of those things, you lay down and the room is like spinning like a mother, and you're like, oh, I fucked up. Oh no! Like that next day, like on a break, I would walk over up to my hotel room, puke, lay down, and then get up and like try and shake it off, and then go back to the event that I paid for. You know,
why did dudes do that? Why did dudes do that at SEO events?
Isn't it funny?
It's dude. Like, this is and we'll come to these questions in a second. Now, this is the God's honest truth, right? Now, James Dooley, right, came to Thailand. Like a whole bunch of people came to Thailand, and I'm literally ready to go on stage and speak at the Matt Diggety's conference, Chiang Mai SEO or whatever it's called. And I remember just ready to walk through the doors to go on the stage, and I turned around and looked to the left, and James Dooley, someone's getting into the toilet, and James Dooley's lying flat out on his back on the fucking floor, on his on his back. Like,
we were
on it for 6-7 days in a row before the conference happened because we got out there and done some crazy shit. But everyone spends a fortune traveling halfway around the world and they don't even get to the event. It's fucking insane. And I see it time and time again.
Because they just like hanging out with people. People like in our industry aren't used to it.
To my own event, so I understand.
Yeah.
It's just insane. It happens every time. And I personally have sat going, Craig, the day before you speak, don't fucking drink because there's nothing worse than get on stage fucking shaking and all that shit.
Dude, we were at an OMG event and Jimmy was drinking Long Island iced teas and he would order them 2 at a time. He's like, can I get 2? And everyone was like buying them from him because they wanted him to they wanted to be friends with Jimmy. It's funny. And they're like, why you order 2 at a time? He's like, well, by the time I drink this one and then I won't be able to get the waitress back over here. So he's just shotgunning Long Island iced teas 2 at a time. And then he almost like they had to send out a committee. They're like, has anyone seen Jimmy? Is he alive? It's like well past noon at that point. It's funny. And then he shows up. He's like, oh, and does his presentation.
Yep.
It's crazy. I've got to be careful. I think it's you get a lot of people in our industry that 1 aren't used to being around people, 2 don't really like being around people, 3 get excited because they're actually around people that know what the fuck they're talking about.
Fucking ass industry, bro.
Yeah, and then they're just like shotgunning drinks, like because they're so the social anxiety's taken over, so they feel like they have to drink. That's they're doing that, but then they get all loose and like they start talking SEO and shit and get all excited and just fucking wild out,
I do it myself all the time.
You're gonna do that, like literally take it from experience. Like you have to bring like stimulants and downers, and you need to know when to take the different drugs so that you have the right
and hydrate too.
And hydrate. Like there's ways to do it. If you're a junkie, if you want to know, I'll help you out.
No, we don't need uppers and downers at the fucking SEO event. But yeah, just don't drink too much. So
yeah.
All right, let's hit the questions. What is the first thing you check? What do you check?
I always go to see if there was design done or something that's like the first
tech issues. Yeah. Because I noticed on one of my sites, it was actually an Otis domain. It's out of index right now because yes, Otis get it, really solid domain. It was popping like in GSC, then down because I was doing a redesign and like for some reason on mobile when I go to the site, like none of the internal pages work right unless it's the homepage or on the blog. They're all fucked. So I've got a bunch of like just blank pages per Google. So yeah, I'm trying to fix that.
You're just looking for those kind of common issues, but also then if you don't see anything with your first crawls, you're not seeing like there's traffic on all versions for all devices or whatever. It's not like lopsided or whatever. I start going to other sites in similar industries to see if there's a trend. Just like it's all at once though. It's not like I'm going to do one and wait. I'm looking for the problem actively every single time. And there's just common things to look at. Like,
you've got to look at your theming compared to the competition. Like what shift it was.
The navigation change is a huge one. That's why I say tech. I always look for where the template changes because if you change your template, you can rescore. You can change your page.
Well, that can fuck up the clustering too.
It can kill your ass. So you got to look for all of that, and then you just want to make sure you remember that Google updates all the time. And just because there's not an update across the web doesn't mean you didn't get an update coming through. So look at other shit.
They asked about updates on that call yesterday too, Mike. Well, what do you think about the most recent update? I was like, well, updates are perpetual at this point, and they're like,
yeah.
And then like, I was trying to act as autistic as I could, so they would stop asking questions. I'm like, well, I mean, just like fucking dumbass. Updates are perpetual at this point. Like, I don't worry about updates. They're always happening. They're like, okay.
No legit gigs for me.
Gigs.
I get slaughtered for this once. I get slaughtered. So I have bought blog comments before. I had a legit page that said, what's your favorite gigs? And people were like, you fucking still buy blog comments. You fucking doing SEO from 2009 or some shit like that, giving me abuse for it. Legit. You can get literally anything. You can even buy yourself a knowledge panel on there. So,
and we'll go back to this. There is a tool still online. It's like Fire some shit or whatever. And one of the things it does is it'll take like your data and it will go and look for page 1 blogs with comments that you can post. And that's still an amazing freaking thing to post. Like I don't know.
Yeah, blog comments
are cool, dude. Forums are cool.
They do not understand how the internet works. The people that came at me for
I mean, the mass spam comments, yeah, I probably wouldn't do those.
It's not our style. Doesn't mean that I don't know people doing it, but so I don't buy legit gigs, but I would if I needed to. I wouldn't be worried about it because I know what I want. Just be careful where you get them and who you get them from, and make sure you know what.
Test the people,
Test the people, but realistically, I've found some very helpful stuff, like getting on Wikidata. There was a dude who had a trusted profile that could sort that out. Like, there's so many different things you can get on there that are they're not specific big gigs, but I needed that for something else. So I don't have a Wikidata profile that's trusted, and you can.
I hired a drafter on Fiverr recently for a school for $45 to design the freaking like playground. And so, I would buy a legit gig if it was something I needed in a second.
So, amazing platform and
a lot for legit stuff on your site. Like which gigs you buy? Do you still have that page up that says which gigs? So I would say go look at the one on Craig's site.
But that's only the ones that I've personally used. I and I was only allowed to list my favorite 5, I think it was.
Who was limiting you?
Yeah, I was going to ask the exact same thing. Why could you only list 5, bro?
It was just the dude that legit, Chris Walker, was just like, give me 5 of your favorite gigs.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
On this page, and I'm like, yeah, well, here's some of the 5 that I've recently bought, and that was it. So I'm not sure. We could maybe add more.
You've got a legit profile?
Yeah.
1, 2.
That's sexy.
Are these your favorite ones then, I guess?
The ones that I've used and successful.
Yeah.
There's a 4. So there, Scott Latham saying Freddie Edmonds, who I can vouch for, Randy Rodé, who I can vouch for.
Yeah, I'm seeing him.
Chris Walker, I can vouch for. The other guy.
What do you use the Reddit backlink? I've never used Reddit in my portfolio.
I was just fucking around.
I love Reddit, dude.
Well, yeah, me too, but
people keep telling me that Reddit's an amazing thing and a great source of traffic, and one that I've not tapped into too much, so I was just messing around on there. But Pinterest's another one that I'm trying to play around with and see if I can get traffic from that. So, but there's some. Scott Latham has put, and Aston Villa are still shit, Scott. Anyway, but he's put on some guys there, Randy Rodé and all that, who's a regular in here. I know he's on holiday right now, but Randy's a great guy that I found on these platforms as well. And
everyone has their favorite gigs in here, and then Craig can put them on his page. There you go.
Yeah.
This is how you build content that builds its own leads, and this is why it had SEO.
And Aaron has built an e-com site to 7 figures from Reddit, so it's insane. But there's a question here for you guys. Is Jimmy K still doing trainings? I haven't heard of him.
No, he quit. He sent an email months ago. Yeah, about a year ago, I'd say. Says he's done. I assume he's making enough from clients again that he's not.
Yeah, I think he kind of took off from the industry.
Yeah, so.
But I don't know. I could be wrong.
Unless he's back, some people go in and out of the industry. So
back again, Jimmy's back.
You dip out.
What?
If you dip out, you lose a bit of touch. Is that a stupid thing to do? To dip out for a few years and then come back for another cash grab?
A few years or a few weeks?
Years.
Oh.
I retired in 2010 for 2 years. I wasn't doing SEO.
I mean, it depends on if you're working and shit, Like you legit didn't do shit for 2 years, right? Yeah. So if you're trying to build your name up and everything, it just depends on what you want to do with your SEO career. Do you want to be like a person that sells courses and is in the limelight, or do you want to be, just working on clients, working on your own PPL? That sounds nice to me.
You can semi-retire all the time because literally the
I'm semi-retarded.
least the best way to make money is actually working a job. So if you retire, you're probably going to make more money than when you're really pushing, to some extent, depending on who you're working for.
And Maeve, come on. Maeve disappoints me. She's a Villa fan, same as Scott. But on that note, guys, we are out of time. We will be back at the normal time next week, which is noon EST over there, and 5 p.m. still in the UK. We have to bounce quickly, though, because Brad has got a call right now. So we need to bounce right now. But thank you very much, everyone, and we will catch you next week.
Odie,
Otis.